Hi, my name is Jerry Antonio. I'm from Canada. I come from Mississauga Family Baptist Church. I've been here for 7 days.
Hey, my name is Kris. I'm from MFBC, or Mississauga Family Baptist Church.
So my overall experience here in Japan has been amazing.
So coming to Japan, I didn't have much expectation. The information that I had was based off of updates coming from Kris Reyes.
He does his campus ministry. He teaches English, and he just helps out with the gospel center.
In terms of the campus ministry, didn't know what to expect. All we knew is that we talked to students. But being there for the 2 days that we were there, it was draining, mentally, spiritually, even physically draining, because for somebody who doesn't know how to speak Japanese and talking to somebody who doesn't know how to speak English, that language barrier created just this difficulty in trying to talk.
We chose the best spot to do the interview.
The ministry in Kanda University, the campus ministry, we've been there. I went there 2 times. Now, in terms of expectation, I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was just, you're talking to students and, trying to just get to know them. But having no experience in speaking the language here, and for them not really having a good grasp on English, I'm just waiting for the next one. I think being on campus, the 2 days that we were there, the one thing that we didn't know was how draining it can really be.
Part of me didn't really understand, well, what's so hard about doing that? What's so hard about telling people about Christ? What's so hard about sharing the gospel to people? Because we do that in Canada. But coming here and witnessing it for myself and now learning the culture, now I understand the challenges. I understand the importance of making connection and building relationships, and the importance of using as much time as you can to build the relationships so that you can eventually start talking to people about Christ.
And reading the updates from Kris and trying to find out what happens during that time is quite different from being there, because I don't speak the language here. They don't speak English very well, so me trying to communicate with them, trying to tell them, just even to get to know them, it was draining, because you're constantly asking questions over and over, trying to initiate a conversation, because they don't ask questions back. So you're trying to keep the conversation going, keeping the flow going. By the end of it, you just don't want to talk anymore. You're just drained.
Obviously, one of the biggest challenges of talking to people here in Japan was the language barrier. And surprisingly, that is a big challenge because of the language barrier. But and I say surprisingly is because we found that they actually want to talk to us and maybe try to practice their English a little bit. But because there's that language barrier, there's broken English. I don't know Japanese. There is that language barrier. Once you start getting to talk to them, they actually will want to talk back to you. They'll answer a question just with maybe a few words, and you have to keep on asking questions. And that's what got a little challenging, because you kind of run out of questions to ask without sounding like a broken record of asking, so what are you studying here? And how long is your program? That communication piece that we're used to going back and forth, it's not so much back and forth here. It's more, I have a question, they're gonna answer it, and they'll just sit there and wait for another question.
But, in the end of it, the great thing that we can see is that they're willing to talk, and there's relationships that are built, and we have been able to connect with a few of them already through a social media or even through a line app, and to just build that relationship with them. So God is moving, even in the midst of those difficult situations, but it's a ministry that really needs workers to go out there to speak to students.
Japan is I love order. I love, maybe because I'm a police officer, so my background is making, I love it when people are acting in orderly fashion. I love it when people our discipline. I love it when people just listen to rules and follow rules. Man, it was so amazing to see even in the train system where people just line up, no pushing. They're courteous. They know what side to walk on without bumping into each other. Nobody's aggressive, and this place is so clean. I can't believe how clean the streets were. And a lot of my videos talk about, look how clean this is, and the toilets. I don't know if that's a common thing to be so impressed with, but the toilets here in Japan, it plays music and it washes yourself. Like you don't have that in Canada. I think if we had that in Canada, they'd be broken.
And aside from that, I think just the beauty of Japan in itself, everything around it is just beautiful, right? I think there's a lot of things that are cute too, right? Everything is cute here in Japan.
Because I didn't know what to expect, everything was just a blessing. From the people I met, from what I learned about the culture, from what I learned about this ministry, to the people who I've met at the Gospel Center. Everything's been amazing.
Because I can see the hopelessness, the darkness in the midst of, everything that looks perfect, but there is darkness here. But it's amazing to see what Gospel Center is doing here, because we can see how God is really moving through the people.
God is here. God is present, and it's everywhere. You can see it with everything you see around. That God is in control of all things. The people of Japan just need to let go of some of their cultural traditions, and understand that there's something greater, that there's something responsible for things, and it's God. And the Gospel Center, it was such a blessing, because you automatically sense this feel of family, you sense this feel of belonging, you sense this feel of welcoming in this church. And I think all I want to do is, how do I get more people to know about the Gospel Center, to come and experience this for themselves, so that they can build relationships to then talk about Jesus, right? So there is hope for the people of Japan. God is here, and I think God's going to use the people of the Gospel Center and other Christians in Japan to speak about Christ.
Right. It was an amazing experience for us. We'd love to come back to Japan.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.